welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a totally fascinating shift in how wealth is actually generated. The core premise we're unpacking from our source material today is bold, but honestly, it's undeniable. The next 10 years are going to create a completely different type of wealthy person. And if you want to be one of them, you need to understand exactly what is changing right now.
Okay, let's just dive right into it. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 5 main pillars: the wealth landscape, the AI baseline, human connection, scaling attention, and finally, the ultimate advantage. Section 1. The wealth landscape. We are rapidly moving away from traditional paths to wealth. So, who are the next wealthy people actually going to be? Take a second to really think about who will succeed in this shifting environment, because the stark reality here is that most people are out there diligently preparing for an economy that, well, is already gone. Look, the old economy relied incredibly heavily on gatekeepers, requiring super expensive degrees, waiting years for tenure, or needing a specific title like a doctor or a lawyer. But this new economy, it bypasses those gatekeepers entirely. It's driven by attention, technology, communication, and psychology. You absolutely don't need decades of experience or permission from some big institution to begin. You can start building these dynamic digital skills today. Moving on to Section 2, the AI baseline. Having a firm understanding of modern technology isn't just a nice to have anymore. It is absolutely your foundational baseline. But here's the real secret to AI literacy. You do not need to build AI. Actually, scratch that. You don't even need to be a software engineer or a computer scientist. You just need to know how to use it. It's really just about treating AI like an incredibly fast, highly capable intern that can buy you back your time and drastically reduce your daily task anxiety. I mean, just look at the sheer volume of output AI users are achieving right now. They're spitting up content, automating those incredibly tedious daily tasks, and building entire businesses from scratch in a fraction of the time it used to take. And remember this critical distinction. AI is replacing tasks, not people. Ultimately, the folks who embrace these tools are simply going to lap the people who choose to ignore them. Section 3. Human connection. So, with all this AI-generated output literally flooding the internet, how do you actually stand out? Well, as the old saying goes, facts inform people, stories move people. In a world that is getting incredibly saturated with artificial generation, authentic storytelling is the one skill that will never, ever die. And that's because our biology is deeply rooted in emotion and trust. Authentic human connection, that is your ultimate moat. We all know them, right? Those brilliant experts who rely purely on facts and data, but they somehow struggle to get anyone to actually listen. On the flip side, the best communicators are the ones out there building massive audiences, driving crazy sales, and influencing major decisions. The biggest creators online aren't always the absolute smartest people in the room. They're just the best at making total strangers feel deeply connected to their message.
This brings us to a really crucial redefinition. Sales isn't a dirty word. It's simply communication that explains value, solves problems, builds trust, and persuades people ethically. Once you kind of strip away those old stereotypes of manipulation, you realize that sales is fundamentally an act of service, and it's an essential, deeply ethical communication tool.
Because here is the undeniable truth. Absolutely everyone is selling something. Creators sell ideas, they capture attention, they move products, and they build personal brands. It's a pretty sobering reality that so many incredibly talented people stay broke simply because they never learned how to present their value confidently to the world.
Which leads us to Section 4, scaling attention.
Once you have those human connection skills down, like the storytelling and the sales, how do you actually amplify them? You scale them using the internet's absolute most valuable currency, attention. The internet runs on this endless, hungry diet of videos, posts, emails, ads, and ideas. Content creation isn't just mere entertainment anymore. It is literally the lifeblood of the modern economy and a massively demanded business skill. Now, if competing in that arena sounds a little intimidating, take a deep breath. You absolutely do not need thousands of dollars in expensive Hollywood equipment. Really, all you need is a smartphone, some basic AI tools, and consistency. The barrier to entry has never been lower in human history, which means your personal dedication is pretty much your only real limit. But why is capturing all that attention so critical? It's because of the incredible leverage an audience gives you. A loyal audience lets you launch businesses, sell products, build entire communities, and create real long-term income. Audience building is arguably the ultimate career advantage, because if you can earn an audience's trust, you can transfer that visibility across virtually any industry.
And it all builds in this very clear, compounding progression. Step 1, you start with consistent content. That naturally builds Step 2, a foundation of trust and an audience, which finally unlocks Step 3, outsized opportunities and massive leverage. This is the exact blueprint of how a modern content creator seamlessly evolves into a highly successful entrepreneur.
And finally, Section 5, the ultimate advantage. This is where we tie all these pillars together. Like, why do humans still matter so much in an AI-dominated world? Well, because our ancient brains haven't changed. We still buy emotionally, we trust stories, we follow other people, we actively seek deep connection, and we respond to real human communication. Technology is constantly going to change the tools we use, but core human behavior, that remains the ultimate constant.
Just look at this timeline of compound and growth. Today, you might start with just one single skill. A few months later, you improve gradually. Years later, you allow time to let that growth compound exponentially. The biggest advantage in the digital economy always goes to the people who start early. Don't wait for the market to get impossibly crowded. I highly encourage you to pick just one of these skills today to kickstart your journey.
So, what skills actually make people valuable, no matter how crazy the world changes? We really need to stop stressing over which traditional jobs are supposedly safe and instead focus deeply on our own personal adaptability. To wrap things up today, which of these 5 skills do you think is going to become the most valuable? Is it AI literacy, storytelling, sales, content creation, or audience building? Thank you guys so much for watching this explainer. I really hope it brought you a ton of value and clarity today. I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts, so please drop your answer in the comments below.